If your broccoli head stays tiny and your cabbage never makes a tight head, or your kale gets big but tastes bitter, here's the truth. Brassicas love cold weather, but most people start them too weak or plant them too late. In this episode, I'm going to show you how to grow brassicas from seed, including broccoli, cabbage, kale, step by step. And at the end, I'll give you a warm climate outdoor option for places where spring heats up fast. You don't need fancy gear, but you do need two things: strong light and cooler temperatures than tomatoes. The basic setup is simple. You need seeds like broccoli, cabbage, or kale, a light and fluffy seed starting mix, cells, or cups with drainage, a tray to catch that water, a grow light or strong supplemental light. Labels are helpful but not necessary, and a small fan for airflow is optional but useful. Brassicas are cool season crops, which means they grow best before the heat arrives. The key rule is to start early so you can transplant them while the weather is still cool. If you wait for what feels like perfect weather, you usually end up planting too late. Most people start those seeds about 4 to 6 weeks before transplanting outside. To plant the seeds, you fill your containers with seed starting mix, moisten it so it feels like a wrung out sponge. Plant 1 to 2 seeds per cell, about a quarter of an inch deep, and covers lightly and label everything. Keep that tray lightly moist until germination, but not soggy. As soon as the seed sprouts, give them bright light and avoid keeping them too warm. Brassicas get leggy when they're grown in warm, dim conditions, so the goal is to start strong light combined with slightly cooler air. About 14 to 16 hours of light per day, considering using that small fan we talked about for improved airflow, and it strengthens the seedlings. For watering, bottom watering works well. Let the surface dry slightly between waterings because overwatering leads to weak roots. Avoid constant misting once the seedlings are established, since you want the roots to grow down, not up, into the soil. Once the seedlings develop true leaves, thin them by keeping the strongest plant in each cell and snipping the weaker ones rather than pulling them out, which means cutting them, not pulling them. If the seedlings outgrow their cells, you need to hold them longer because the weather is still harsh, then pop them up into larger containers, which makes sense, around 3 to 4 inches, and use fresh potting mix. Water them well, and a slightly larger root system is better than a stress root bound transplant. As the seedlings grow, begin light feeding with a gentle, balanced fertilizer at diluted strength. Avoid overdoing that nitrogen because you want a sturdy, compact growth rather than soft, floppy plants. About a week before transplanting, begin hardening off your plants by starting them in shade and then introducing them to morning sun, and gradually increase the time they spend outdoors. Wind and sunshine can still stall brassicas, and hardening off prevents that while you're transplanting them outside. Remember, brassicas can handle cool weather, but they can't handle stress. Plant them on a calm day, water them thoroughly, and keep the watering consistent for the first couple of weeks. Proper spacing is important because crowded plants stay small, so give them enough room to grow, right? Once the most important steps is protecting them from pests early, since brassicas tend to attract pests quickly. One of the easiest upgrades growing brassicas is using insect netting or row covers early in the season. This keeps the moths, chewing pests off the plants and prevents problems before they start. Make sure to secure the edges well before the pests can get underneath, because they will. If you live in warmer climates, like in the south, you can start growing brassicas, but the timing becomes more important. You need to grow when the weather is cool, not necessarily when it feels comfortable to you. One option is to start the seeds outdoors in small pots in bright shade. If the days are warm and the nights are still mild, keep them evenly moist and gradually introduce them to morning sun as they grow. Another option is to shift your growing season. In many warm climates, brassicas perform better from fall through winter, which means starting seeds in late summer, transplanting them when the temperatures begin to cool. If spring heats up quickly where you live, then that makes even more sense. This one change can make the difference between small, disappointing plants and a full harvest. That for Brassica seeding system for broccoli, cabbage, and kale, along with warm climate outdoor options. I'm Phil Davis. I hope you learned something and got some information out of there. And hey, did you know kale, cabbage, and broccoli are called brassicas? I had to tell somebody that at work the other day. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. That's it, folks. You can go to Ancestry Lands to start owning property today with payments starting at $250 a month, no credit checks, and owning land has never been easier. It's time to build your land portfolio one property at a time. We help you to get dollars from dirt and build generational wealth by owning small plots of affordable vacant land. Contact us to learn more. Oh, and speaking of dollars from dirt, I also wrote a book about investing in land for you readers out there. My book, Getting Dollars from Dirt, A Beginner's Guide to Vacant Land Investing, is on Amazon. The link is in the description section below. Inside, you'll learn simple, easy-to-read insights that will have you understanding why you should own land today. For more tips and tricks, subscribe for updates, comment below, and let us know what you enjoyed about this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
And remember, like and subscribe.